the whacked out news. People breaking the law. Ha ha, fighting in the nude. Ha, drunk people pooping in the street. Ha ha, it's the whacked out news. So many people on meth. Ow!
Oh, I got some insanity happening at some Florida airports. First one in Miami. Now, this isn't a news story. It happened around Christmas last year, but the video just came out of this passenger who attacked TSA workers at MIA. It was kind of crazy. And here's the story about the guy. I don't know what provoked it, but it looked like he just sprung on some TSA agents. They kind of knocked him backwards. This guy was fighting everybody. And it's odd because he was Canadian. I thought Canadians are so dang peaceful. No, this guy went off on TSA, and then he'd also attacked another passenger that same morning, and then he fought somebody else on a plane the previous day.
Yeah.
I don't know what this guy's going through.
He's got to take a break.
And he didn't even look like a brawler. It looked like he just was attacking people and then getting his ass kicked. Which,
not a good look.
Not a terrible look. Yeah, he's pled guilty to 2 federal charges. That's what happens when you screw around in an airport. Now, this story is a little bit more interesting. This is a woman that's been charged with felony child abuse after being called fat during a flight out of Orlando International Airport. Her name is Christy Crampton, and she allegedly assaulted a child who called her fat and Miss Piggy. What?
Christy Lee Crampton was set to be back home from her family's Disney World vacation. Instead, she made her first appearance in front of a Seminole County judge Tuesday, charged with felony child abuse. Allegiant Flight 2885 to Hagerstown, Maryland was set to take off from Orlando Sanford International Airport just before 2 p.m. Monday. But according to this arrest report, Crampton and witnesses on the plane tell police the child called Crampton fat and Miss Piggy, telling her she couldn't fit in the airplane seat. That's when witnesses say Crampton began hitting the child with her fist and then hit him on the head with a water bottle. Then the report says she slammed the child's head into the airplane window. The child used his arms to cover his head. Airport police haven't said how old the child is, but Crampton told police the child was very rude and disrespectful during their trip to Disney, and that after the child called her fat, she took his phone away. She claims he then pushed her arm off the armrest twice, and that's when she began smacking him. But police and witnesses say she went beyond typical disciplinary actions. One witness saying the woman was not correcting the child, she was abusing him.
Oh, wow.
It was the Miss Piggy comment.
It just finally set her off.
Yeah, that's the one.
A rude kid. Now, is this, I'm trying to figure out if this is her child.
Yeah, I was kind of confused.
Yeah, I think it might be her child. The way it sounds, she's sitting next to him and no other parents jump in because that ain't going to happen. And I guess she takes the kid to Disney and then he starts calling her Miss Piggy. She's like, oh, hell no. Bam.
Well, also, too, you can't fit in the plane.
Yeah.
You're fat.
Wow.
Kid's roasting her.
I just took you to Disney, if that's what happened. She was released on a $10,000 bond in order to have no contact with the child. So there's got to be some kind of relation there. Wow. Dang. A 31-year-old woman in D.C. was arrested after she got naked in a hotel lobby, threw alcohol bottles at guests, and blamed it on her Lord and Savior, Michael Jackson.
Ooh, there are days and then there are days.
I've been a little hammered. 2 hikers in New York's Adirondack Mountains called 911 to report a third member of their party had died. But it turned out they had just taken hallucinogenic mushrooms, and they were wrong about the dying part. Oh, my God. Our friend is dead. He's dead. I know he's actually fine. You're just on shrooms.
Oh that's some good stuff.
Wow. Shrooms work, baby. There's a woman who claims that she's been suffering from a 7-year sinus infection after her ex-boyfriend faced his cheeks at her and farted in her face. Now, I guess where part of the problem is she was recovering from surgery, and now Christine Connell said that doctors have found E. coli in her sinuses.
This whacked out news is layered today.
Boy, it's got some stuff, doesn't it? Here is Christine telling her story.
We dated like 7 years ago. I've had a persistent sinus infection ever since he and I stayed in a hotel one night after I had surgery. And he farted terribly. Like, I couldn't breathe. I've never, ever. It's not anything that even compares to that. And I got my sinus infection cultured today. I've gotten it like imaged. I've had all of these tests done. Doctors haven't been able to figure it out. And it is E. coli. And
wow.
Usually don't get E. coli in your sinuses because E. coli is from poop. So like, I don't know, how does that get in your sinuses unless you have a boyfriend who farts disgustingly and you are forced to inhale it because you are immobile after ankle surgery?
Wow, what a story, huh?
That is quite the clip. Well, she says he farted horribly.
Horribly.
Is there a cool way to fart?
Well, this one apparently had something behind it. This came out with some beef.
And he did it on purpose?
Yeah, it sounds like it, yeah. Sounds like he was just being all funny and caused her this massive sinus infection. She said her ex-boyfriend got the best possible breakup revenge that anybody could ever get.
Man, I'm not sure what story made me laugh harder.
Wow. Oh, man. I got to tell you, tech has really made it more challenging for the cheaters. I know they probably thought, well, it's going to be easier than ever to cheat, but there is a woman who just busted her husband cheating because of data sent from his electric toothbrush.
Oh, yeah.
I guess maybe he had it where he was hooking up with another woman and she knew exactly where it was. It's like, oh, no, your toothbrush told me you're right here.
People are getting busted with technology doing all kind of weird stuff, and they don't even realize how the tech is bringing them down.
That's crazy,
I
huh?
know.
Wow. Well, there is something, I guess, in the skies that we should be alarmed about. According to researchers from Brazil, France, and Italy, they discovered at least 3 sizable asteroids that are as much as 1,300 feet in diameter that are orbiting in sync with Venus right now, but they pose a potential threat to Earth. They follow unstable orbits that bring them dangerously close to our planet, and they say their proximity to Venus makes them nearly impossible to detect due to the sun's glare. So they could spin off or smack into our planet. We may not even realize it, but what would it do? They say in the worst case scenario, such an impact with any of these asteroids could release energy 1,000,000 times greater than the nuclear bomb dropped on Hiroshima, leveling cities and triggering tsunamis. They're looking a little bit more into it, but they suggest that a space probe be positioned near Venus. This is something we definitely need to keep an eye on.
When I hear something like that, it makes me want to eat a pizza.
Yeah, right. There you go. Go enjoy yourself, baby.
By the way, what a horrifying story.
It's a very horrifying story. Yeah, we might want to get on that.
Would you want to know if there was something coming to Earth, would you just rather have it hit?
Yeah,
and
have
not,
it
and not have to think about the
No,
anxiety of
no,
it.
and I'm not even worried about the asteroid hitting. I'm worried about how the people are going to react here on Earth before it hits.
I'd rather just say,
Mass
you know
chaos.
what? If it comes,
Yeah.
don't tell me.
That's right. Just right now. Boom. Gone. Okay. It is what it is. This is a guy that seems like he's trying to kill himself. What a crazy Guinness World Record. I thought they didn't like people doing dangerous things. I guess this isn't dangerous enough because he got the world record for completing 7 backflips in 30 seconds while on fire.
Might be time to bring back World Record Wednesday.
7 backflips, 30 seconds
on
on
fire.
fire. Yeah, he had fire-resistant clothing. It was chilled with protective gel. And I guess he endured freezing preparation before a blowtorch ignited his outfit. Wow.
At this point, I was sort of thinking, you know what, I'll keep going. John shouted, down, down, down. Sort of them that I actually, luckily, didn't have any major injuries. My successful record total was 7 backflips in 30 seconds while engaging in a full body burn.
Wow.
I mean,
It's pretty crazy.
he's got a record.
Yeah, he does. There you go.
This is how we do. It's the KBJ Show.